What's up, guys? Welcome back to TFGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here with Vendetta. Say hey, Vendetta.
Hello, hello.
Vendetta's not going to talk a whole lot during this video, are you?
Nope, probably not.
That's okay, because this is kind of Goose's game. But we wanted to revisit Darkest Dungeon here a little bit now that the full game has released, and kick out kind of a brief strategy video on how to handle the final missions in the actual Darkest Dungeon location. The first of which is for the Shuffling Terror. So we're going to show you party composition and trinkets and a little bit of a blurb on all the enemies, and then of course the final boss fight as well. So hopefully that sounds cool. I assume it does because you clicked on the video.
That's right.
That's kind of reasonable, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable to assume they want to watch the Darkest Dungeon video.
Yeah, I would think so. So we're going with this party here. Obviously, you can tweak this to taste, but the reason that I went with it and with the trinkets that you're seeing over here on the left is because, first of all, Hellions spank. They're awesome. They have really good base damage, and they can do bleed attacks as well. And also, we picked up the Jester here for stress heals, because he's awesome at that, and of course the Vestal for healing. And then the biggest things you want to focus on trinkets is bleed resist and dodge. That's really the mastery for me. 6 of my heroes sacrificed their lives to bring you this video, one of which to this little screen right here, which tells you that if you retreat during the mission, somebody has to stay behind.
Yeah, they're not pulling any punches with this game, man. That's one of the things I love about it.
I know, dude. It really is, just a punishing experience, but if that's what you're looking for, it's a refreshing look into what gaming used to be back in like old school Nintendo days.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, I feel like it's definitely a new game, but with a little bit of the old school.
Exactly. So if you missed that there, by the way, on the provisions, basically you just buy everything that you can on that screen besides keys, anti-venom, and shovels. And then on these first guys here, the Rapturous Cultists, these guys aren't really that bad. They guard and they heal themselves or others. But generally speaking, I don't really consider them to be primary targets unless it's like this initial fight here where they're the only ones. I got the distinct impression that this dungeon was designed to slowly ease you in.
Yeah, no, definitely. Having seen this playthrough before, I definitely felt like, you were kind of eased in. Like, it ramps up in difficulty, right?
Absolutely. They just kind of want to show you what each of the mobs can do, which is kind of what we're doing here now. So this guy, for example, the Cultist Priest, he can, as you can see there on the right, he has preference for the first and second positions, but can kind of go anywhere, and is real big on bleed and bleed debuffs, so you want to keep those under control with your items and skills. And then kind of the same thing for these Ascended Brawlers. Now, these guys, you might even remember these guys, man. They probably look a little familiar.
Yep, I do remember these guys from back in the beta days.
Exactly. So, but these guys look a little bit different when they attack. They're kind of souped up, but and they cause some pretty horrific bleeds if they hit you, along with debuffs. So again, you want to keep those under control with your items. That's why you stack up on herbs and bandages before coming in here. And so just keep that under control and definitely take them down first.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed as well, you're really big on the buffs and the stress heals and, ooh, got a crit right there.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. It's important, like, to keep the buffs going, the entire time. Basically, you do those when you can, though. If it's more important to do a stress heal or it's more important to just smack something, then of course you're going to do that. But the general rule is you want to focus down on damage dealers first and then worry about the stress later, because that's why the Jester's there. He's gonna handle those problems for you.
Right.
So, this guy, the Malignant Growth, is ugly. That's basically all I can say about him. He's effectively the same thing as the Cultist Priest in my experience. He's just got a little bit more HP, and I believe he has a stun as well. So you got to watch out for that. But honestly, this is the only one in the dungeon, so is in this fight that's very near the end. So I didn't really need to worry about it too much. You just kind of focus him down again.
Do you feel like they put him in here to just kind of showcase him, to say, hey, here's this cool guy?
I think that maybe, and I don't know this yet because I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make more appearances in the latter stages of the dungeon.
Gotcha.
After this mission, and that's why.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So here, it's camp time when you get to this point in the map. So, it's important here to just heal up your HP and stress as much as you can. And then the big deal here is to focus on buffs that are not position dependent. Some of the buffs that you do in the game, only work if you're in a certain position. So like rank 1 or rank 4 or blah, 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 blah.
Yep, that's part of the strategy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And normally you can hold your position pretty well, but this boss, being named the Shuffling Terror, has a way of shuffling your characters around.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Almost like they're trying to give you a little bit of a heads up. So just be aware of that and choose buffs that are appropriate. And don't worry, normally when you camp, ambushes are a thing in the main game, but so far I've not heard of anybody that actually got ambushed off the camp in the Darkest Dungeon. So don't have to worry about blowing any camp stuff for that. And then right before this door, it's time to buff up. Use your holy water here. It actually, for the last few patches now, actually gives you 33% resist to all status ailments.
That's awesome.
For 3 rounds, and it is well worth it.
Ooh, he's got a face only a mother could love.
He's got a few of them. He's got a couple down there on his leg or something, I think. But
yeah, that thing is cool looking.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I mean, you can tell throughout this entire game that Red Hook, the developer, is very, very big on their Lovecraft.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously they chose the name of their studio after one of the stories, but still, this is very Cthulhu-esque and just a really fun game. But anyway, as far as the little strategy here, we're gonna go ahead and watch this entire fight with this guy. It's about 5 minutes long here, guys, but I thought maybe you would want to see this entire battle here, so we'll chitter chatter and you can see how the fight traverses. And the big thing to remember here, number one, don't worry about targeting the guy in the back, because what you would think is kind of like not normal. You'd think you would want to target the ads, right?
Yeah, it's counterintuitive to taking down the boss.
Exactly. But the kicker is if you destroy that guy, he'll just summon another one, or he might even summon this thing called a defensive growth, which actually has the ability to heal him or guard or buff him.
That sounds like a whole lot of terrible.
It is extremely terrible, and there's just no real reason to worry about it. Just understand you're going to be taking an extra hit per round, the entire time, and it's just the way it is. You have to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did pretty well in this fight overall.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of points where, I was trying to make some decisions on what I should do as far as positioning my guys after they got shuffled. Mainly you want your healer to be sort of near the back. Ideally, you want your jester in the 3rd position, so that he can do his heals and such from there. If he does get up front, I gave him Finale, which is one of the skills that he has that will hit the thing directly in front of you and also move the jester all the way back to the back.
That's awesome.
It's a great skill. I mean, it really is, especially for something like this where you get shuffled around. And, the Hellions are pretty much awesome from positions 1, 2, or 3. The only time that they can't do anything is if they're in the back. So you might have to move them up one time, like in this particular situation.
Now, is that why you went with 2 in your party composition? Like keeping that in mind that they were so versatile?
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, the Hellions are among the top damage dealers in the game, actually. They and Crusaders have the highest base damage of all the classes. Only but with the exception of the Leper. The Leper actually hits harder, but has accuracy problems, so I tend not to bring him along for too many things. Like, right here I'm trying to decide, what's the best play here with the Jester, but eventually just decide to do an attack so I can move my Vestal back. I keep wanting to call him a Cleric. Is that weird?
No, because he has a book and a mace, and actually, you and I have both played D&D in the past. I think that's totally normal.
I think so, yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So... so the battle goes reasonably well here. Again, you're just you're trying to keep your resist up, keep those bleeds off you. The bleeds are really, really crazy. They're 6-point bleeds, and if they crit, they go for 5 rounds. So it's enough to really put a hurt on your characters. So keep the bleeds off. If he hits you, you got to use a bandage or use a skill to take those back off. And otherwise, just focus him down and keep applying bleeds to him as much as you can, as I've been doing here.
Yeah.
And of course he's going to get one last crit in just because he's a prick.
Yeah. Not cool. But I see those bleeds tick there very nicely, and he's running real low on health.
Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing too, just because this guy was giving me so many problems, especially on the first run. At this point in the fight, I'm still very nervous.
I don't blame you.
You know, because this game is just brutal, and all of a sudden it can just pull something out of its butt and, you know, show you your butt yourself. I mean, you're just toast
Yeah.
instantly. So you got to be very careful about getting cocky, because that's usually when you see the wrong end of a, you know, the complete screen.
Yeah, that's when
So,
you lose one of your favorite party members. There's that
or
finale.
or all of them. Yeah, yeah. There's finale. I love finale, and it managed to crit for us too. So, and with that, we vanquished the foe finally, and I got the tentacle idol here. I believe this is just going to give you a random ancestor trinket that you don't already own. Not the best reward, but really at this stage of the game, you should be pretty set on your trinkets.
Yeah.
So not a huge thing there, but that's it. That's basically the fight there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and the concise nature of it, and found some good tips in there. I'm going to try to get the rest of these done as well, but if you don't see any more pop up in the channel, it's because I'm terrible.
Yeah, well, no, I think they should let us know in the comments below if they want to see more of these boss fights.
Yeah, then hopefully you can do that. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again soon.